Okay, so now that we have learned what are assets, what are liabilities, what is capital, and how does your accounting equation change when there is a business transaction, we can now move on towards accounting cycle. Now, what is accounting cycle? You can say accounting cycle is the name that we've given to the sequence of events and the processes that are used to develop accounting records. In simple words, this is what an accountant within a firm will follow to record these transactions and eventually communicate them to the useful decision makers. So, going back, you guys should remember the basic purpose of accounting is that someone who's sitting outside the business, or even someone who's within the management, they would want to know how well is the firm doing, is the firm making a profit, does the firm have sufficient money. So all these questions can be answered when the business will communicate certain information to them. That information and this process is called accounting. So what accounting cycle tells us is that whenever there are transactions, the first step is always that we have to record these transactions. We have to collect all the documents, for example, checks received, bank statements, sales invoices, etc. So the first step is when you have your financial transactions, you have to collect them, and then you have to record these transactions in something called daybooks. Okay, so daybooks are also known as books of prime entry. So we also refer this to as books of prime entry. So this is the part where the business will record all their transactions. So I would relate it to something like this. When you're studying in school, so let's say if you have maths, economics, and accounts as your subject, so you would maintain a register for maths, you would maintain a register for economics, you would maintain a register for accounting. That's your part of recording everything that you have studied in your day books or in your register. Similarly, businesses will also have their day books and register where they will record their different transactions, sales, purchases, etc., which I will discuss very soon. This part where we record transaction is also known as bookkeeping. So if you guys hear the word bookkeeping, bookkeeping is the part where the business is recording its transactions over here.
Quick pause. If you're finding value in this explanation, there's so much more to discover. At Alt Academy, we break down every A-level concept with the same level of clarity. Now, let's continue.
Okay, so once the business has recorded these transactions, what the business will now do is they will start classifying their transactions in something called ledgers. What do I mean by classifying transaction? For example, if the business sold goods to Ali, the business would want to have a record of Ali, that what was the amount of goods sold, were any goods returned by Ali to the business, how much has Ali paid off, is there any money outstanding that Ali owes towards the business. That part is called classifying all transactions for receivables, classifying transactions for trade payables, classifying transaction, let's say for bank, for cash, for sales, purchases. So all items will be classified and all transactions will be classified in something called ledgers. We will also discuss ledgers over here. Once the business has prepared and classified all its transactions, it can then summarize its transactions in something called trial balance. So trial balance also acts as a control system. You can also say that trial balance is also a control system. I can say it acts as a control system for the business because it will ensure that arithmetical accuracy has been verified. There are no errors. For example, if there were any calculation mistakes, we would be able to identify at this stage. That's the trial balance stage. So any calculation error, any entry omission, any other error that took place during recording the transactions and classifying the transactions can be detected at this stage, which is called the trial balance stage. Okay, once you have summarized your transactions and they are available in the trial balance form, you can now communicate this information into something called financial statements. So remember, financial statements is the part where all the business information will be communicated to people sitting outside the business, like shareholders, bank, government, your suppliers, and also people sitting within the business, internal users like your management and employees. So anyone who's interested in knowing about the business will obviously not have access to the daybooks, ledgers, trial balance. They will only have access to the financial statements. Usually financial statements for companies which are listed is available on their websites, and if a company is not publicly listed, their financial statements can be obtained by the firm. Alright, and the type of financial statements that we look at this course are called income statement. That's the first statement prepared by the firm. This statement will calculate the profit and loss. So you can say the purpose of this statement is to calculate any profit or loss made by the firm. That shows the financial performance of the firm. And the other statement that the business will prepare for useful decision makers is called statement of financial position. The statement of financial position will essentially show the assets the firm has, the liability the firm has, and also the capital the business has at the moment. So your accounting equation can be illustrated in the statement of financial position. So this process is called accounting cycle, where any transaction that has taken place in the records of the book will be processed by first recording, classifying, summarizing, and then eventually communicating all transactions once they're done to useful decision makers, is called the accounting cycle. So all firms follow this process of accounting cycle. We will also understand the accounting cycle, since we need to know how to process the transactions and to eventually report them to useful decision makers. Okay, so what I'll do next is I will list down all the day books or the books of prime entries that a firm will maintain, where they will record all the transactions. So again, remember, these are the registers maintained by the firm to record different transactions. So let's move forward. Alright, so all businesses will maintain these 6 day books or books of prime entry. They are called the cash book, the sales day book, the purchase day book, sales return day book, purchase return day book, and the general journal. Alright, so you guys should know the names of these day books that every firm will maintain. Let's also discuss now that what each day book will record. Okay, so let's start with the cash book. The first day book that a firm will maintain is called the cash book. Okay, cash book is the day book where all cash and bank transactions will be recorded. So you guys can think of this, that all cash plus bank transactions, whether they are inflows and outflows, whether they are receipts, whether they are payments. So any money related transaction will be recorded in the cash book. The cash book will show the amount of cash and bank that the business has available at the ending point. Alright, and the balance of the cash book will obviously be calculated as opening balance available in cash and bank plus receipts, that's inflows, minus payments. So remember that this is done for both. We will have a record of cash, that's cash in hand available with the firm, and bank, the bank account we have. So the balances can be obtained using this equation, opening balance plus receipts minus payments. Alright, so all cash and bank money related transactions, inflows and outflows will be recorded in the cash book. Okay, the next set of day books or books of prime entry are the sales and purchases day book. Now, as the name implies, the sales day book, the aim of your sales day book will be to record all the credit sales. So all credit sales, remember, only credit sales, not cash sales. Cash sales will go in the cash book since we're getting that money. But credit sales, any credit sale will be recorded in the sales day book, and any credit purchases. So again, only credit purchases, not cash purchases. Cash purchases will go to the cash book, and any credit purchases transaction will be recorded in the purchases day book. Okay, so while recording your credit sale, you should always record the date at which the sale took place, the invoice number when you're issuing an invoice, the amount of sale, and the customer's name will be recorded in the sales day book. In the purchases day book as well, you'll do the following. You'll record the date of purchase, the invoice number received, the amount for which the goods were bought, and the supplier's name. So sales and purchases daybook will be used to record credit sales and credit purchases for the business. Okay. Now the other daybooks. Next one, sales return daybook. Sales return daybook, as the name implies, which will also be called the return inwards daybook. So I would ask you guys to remember this name. Sales return will also be known as return inwards. Okay, this daybook will be used to record any goods returned by the customer, which is also called sales return or your return inwards. So whenever your customer returns back any goods, you should record it in this daybook, the sales return daybook. Again, you should follow the same step. The name, date, etc. will all be recorded. Similarly, the purchases return daybook. Now, purchases return would mean that the business is returning its purchases. Since purchases would be the business buying goods, so if the business is returning goods to its suppliers and it does not need those goods, that's called purchase return. The name for purchase return is also return outwards. You guys should also know this name. Return outwards is also commonly known as purchases return. So the business might be willing to return goods because, let's say, they're of the wrong kind, or because some goods are damaged. So again, we need to keep a record of this as well, that what goods are we returning back to the supplier. So we should record it with the amount, the invoice, the date, everything should be recorded. So when we talk about sales return daybook, that would be customers are returning goods back to the firm. That's recorded in the sales return daybook. And when we talk about purchases return daybook, the firm is returning some goods to the supplier. That will be recorded in the purchase return daybook. Okay, and if anything, any other transaction that does not go in these 5 daybooks that I have mentioned before, cash book, sales purchases, sales return, purchase return, will go to the general journal. Alright, so any event that cannot be recorded anywhere else will be recorded in the general journal. So let me give an example. So let's say if I have a transaction which is purchase of non-current asset on credit, where should I record this? Now see, if this was purchase of non-current asset paying through check, so I would see that's a check transaction, that should go in the cash book. But now this is purchase of non-current asset. You're buying an asset but on credit. It cannot go to the cash book since there's no money involved. It cannot go to the sales daybook, purchase daybook. Purchase daybook is for buying goods. It cannot go to the sales return or the purchase return. So this transaction will automatically go to the general journal. Alright, so we have these 6 daybooks that we should remember. Alright, coming back over here, cash book to record any monetary transactions, sales daybook, purchase daybook to record sales and purchases of goods, sales return daybook, purchase return daybook to record sales return and purchase return of goods, and finally general journal to record any transaction that cannot go in the first 5 daybooks. So bringing you guys back over here, I've just discussed what are the daybooks that a firm will maintain. In the next video, I will start explaining what are ledgers.
Our complete A-levels accounting course is waiting for you on our website. In addition to accounting, you can also find business, economics, maths, and 4 other full A-level offerings. So thousands of students who've already unlocked their potential. Visit All to Get Me right now.